Welcome to the NNN show, episode 99, and we're here to talk about. I don't know why this is reflecting in the eyes, but I can't do anything about that. We're on episode 99, one to go to episode 100. It's a big special, so stay tuned for that. That's coming up pretty much right after this. But we're here to do Nintendo 2018 year in review, sort of a quick look over what Nintendo's done in the main releases and stuff like that. Um, we know from the Nintendo 3DS front, they've had a few releases here and there. I can't remember any of the titles. Please do let me know what they were, because I have barely played with the console over the years. Let's see if I can try to get the reflection out of my eyes. Nope, it's not going to happen today. But this year's been interesting. Obviously, with 2017, the Nintendo Switch was not able to have that huge momentum of Mario Kart, Splatoon, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and a launch of a new console. I think that was just not going to happen. And some people were a little bit annoyed and cheesed off. And some people were annoyed at um, basically there was a few too many ports for people's likening, which I kind of get where they're coming from. Now, I can't quite remember all the ports because it's been a long year for me. Because I do remember um, games like Bayonetta 1 and 2 came out, which was really good. And you had a couple other ports here and there that were revealed. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker came out this year. I hope it did. And that was another good title for the Switch. If I remember, that was a cool game for it too. But let's get to some of the big games. Now, some of the interesting games that came out that we'll talk about is Starlink Battle for Atlantis, which unfortunately it's half priced. So it's suggesting that the Toys to Life era is pretty much dead unless you are selling amiibos. Lucky Nintendo survived that one. You guys have Mega Man 11 that came out, which was a great game. A lot of people were happy to see another game in the series, and people were very happy to see that appear. I did not buy it because I didn't have the money, and two, I am terrible at Mega Man games. They're just too hard for me. Some of the other interesting games that came out was Kirby Star Allies, which was a cool game. I heard quite a few people enjoyed it. Some people said it was a little bit simple at times, but they're Kirby games. They're fun. They're lots of fun to play with, and it's good to see something on the Switch like that. Oh yes, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze came out this year too. That was one title that I was looking forward to pick up, but my budget restraints said no. But I know that quite a few people enjoyed it, especially for those who didn't have a Wii U, which was a lot of people, and they enjoyed the heck out of it. It was a great platformer. Now, in other things, you had Bayonetta 1 and 2, which was great. It's a late night. And you had Mario Tennis Aces I did get. And I was a little disappointed in it in terms of it didn't have a lot of options and features to it. The core mechanics was great, but they didn't have a lot of online features. And I know that they're releasing patches and updates to it, but I think they should have released more than just the bare bones at launch, which hopefully they might change their tune on in later on down the track. And they're still releasing new players for it and modes and stuff like that. So it's good to see that game still being supported. Super Mario Party came out in October, if I remember. A lot of people enjoyed that game, which was great. I was very pleased to see that. One of the other games that if I remember, was Nintendo Labo. Nintendo Labo had a few more releases. It had the steering wheel thing, which was fantastic. That they launched a few games of that, and the robot and stuff like that. And it was mixed success. I think it sold well at first, and it sort of fell away over time. Some people really got a kick out of how creative it was. You got the masking tape. Yes, they're literally selling you cardboard and masking tape. But yes, it did come with a game. And the robot one was pretty cool that I saw people playing with. And you also had the fishing rod and the piano set. And the variety, it's been a long year. It's been a long year for Nintendo and me this year. So, and that was great to see. Labo did all right. They might still muck around with the idea next year and see what they can do to promote it and to do better in that. But I think the latest kit that they had, which was the driving car and the submarine and that, I think that was better received because the game that was packed with it was a much more full experience. It was a bit more open world compared to the others where it was more limited in its gameplay. And of course, we'll get to the two big games: Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, or Pikachu and Eevee, and that sold really well. Oh my god, I'm so tired. And that was big. It sold really well. It came with the little Pokeball that, says the Pokemon's name and it rattles a bit, and you can take it on the go with you pretty much, and connecting with your Pokemon Go game on mobile phone. You can transfer the Pokemon from there to there, and a lot of people enjoyed it. Remake of Pokemon Yellow, which was fantastic for fans and for people like that. And of course, people had lots and lots of fun with it, which was great. And then we got to Smash Brothers. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate was probably the big game, selling 5 million over the first 3 days, which was astonishing. It's probably sold now probably 6 or 7 million. It's done absolutely gangbusters. Over 70 characters, 1,000 music tracks, 100 stages. It pretty much has everything. Everyone is here. And that was great to see the success of Smash Brothers and Sakurai doing so well out of that. And he's one of the best game designers and makers in the world. And just looking at all these releases, I can understand why people were a little annoyed about some of the ports and that. But if you didn't own a Wii U, I think that this year would have been a pretty good year for you. And seeing the Switch continue to do so well, this little guy doing so well this year, I think people would have been presently happy with it. Lots of great indie titles too. Unfortunately, I'm not going to name them all. Lots of great titles, and I've reviewed some this year. And check out other YouTube channels who've done a bit more reviewing than I have this year, which I'll get back on the bandwagon for that next year. But it's been a strong year. So many games coming out. Sometimes 20 to 30 games coming out each week for the Nintendo Switch, which has been absolutely amazing, and quite a stark difference compared to the Wii U, where there was just a trickle of games every now and again. Of course, the Nintendo Online service came on board. NES games you can play. Now you have to pay for online and cloud saves that you get with that too. It was a bit of a lukewarm response to that release, and hopefully Nintendo improves that with a new president that we have, who is a much younger mold. And of course, too, the restrictions that they had on YouTube, yes, for me, was lifted. So now they don't take our money. Well, I don't earn any money from the channel, but for those who, make Nintendo videos on YouTube, now they can, without the fear of Nintendo monetizing anything that has even the sound of a Nintendo beep or coin or music track or visual effect. So overall, how do I think Nintendo went? I don't know. Kind of feel like a C plus or a B minus. Probably a B minus. Or 7 or an 8 out of 10. I still think they did really well. I think that I don't know if Nintendo will reach the 20 million sales by the end of physical year, which is March the 30th of 2019. But I think that Nintendo will have a much stronger year next year with Pokemon Generation 8. Animal Crossing will be coming out, big release. You will definitely get Yoshi and Fire Emblem. I think it's called Three Houses. Do correct me on that if I'm wrong. And you'll also possibly see Bayonetta 3, maybe Metroid Prime 4, maybe the trilogy will be released as a port and a HD remake. That would be very nice to see. There's lots of opportunities for Nintendo, and I think they're gearing up for that 2017 type year again. Because you can't do it every year, but you might see it every 2 years. And who knows what ports you might see. You might see a port of Zelda. You know that there's a new 2D Mario game coming out, new Super Mario Brothers U, and I think we'll eventually see Super Mario Maker. Now that that 2D Mario game's coming out, the chances of Super Mario Maker coming out, I say it'll be 2020 for that title, unless they want to jam pack it with another Mario game. But I think that's a following year type launch. So I think this year Nintendo's done alright. I don't think it's too bad. I know some people might be disappointed, but just wait around for next year. I think 2019 is going to be a very big year for Nintendo. It'll be the third year of the Switch. They want to keep the sales going. The Switch has probably sold about 30, 35 million, and then next year they can take that way past the 50 million mark and get to the 55, maybe 60 million. Don't know. Not making predictions, but the Switch is selling really well, and Nintendo's in a pretty good position. They just need to keep the ship sailing well, and I think they will for now. But they do need to keep work on their online services. I think that's the area that they are quite lacking in. Maybe the YouTube changes is a sign of that, but they do need to start putting on other classic consoles like the Super Nintendo, N64, and GameCube, because it is still a system that is cheap, but is underwhelming and not very satisfying for people who have rebought Nintendo's classic console games for a long time. So that's Nintendo's my little review for them for 2018. I'm very tired. It is Christmas morning here, and I'll see you next time. And go watch the 100th show of the NNN show. It's a big, big show. It's going to be huge.